ain't nobody coming to save you, bro. You can sit in this shit for as long as you want to. Ain't nobody gonna fix this shit. Ain't nobody gonna mend the shit that's happened to you before. Ain't nobody gonna mend the motherfucking fuck ups that you had before. You are responsible for digging yourself out, and you have the means and the path to do it, and you gotta do it.
These kind of relationships that get disturbed when we don't take the time to know what it is to sing, to know how to get close to the mic again, or to get something. Singing doesn't make it happen, or maybe.
Welcome.
We back, man.
Hold on. He's back.
I'm back.
I ain't went nowhere.
I'm back. Yeah, you right. I'm back. What up, world? We ain't touching either. We still holding proximities.
Dude,
Approximations.
episode 49 was the last episode you were on.
Yep.
We damn near at 80. Now, without going into too much detail, because that ain't the purpose of this part of the discussion, but we wouldn't be TuneTheFork if we didn't at least create space, dog, to figure out where in the fuck you have been and what's been going on with you.
Oh, shit. Yeah, man, I just been in my own head, man, just trying to bust out of my own brain, man. That's been a struggle, bro. Trying to get out of your own thoughts and shit. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And that shit is a wormhole and a fucking rabbit hole, a wormhole, and a black hole all at the same time, man. That you feel like you get stuck in, and you look up, and it's fucking 6 months later. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But you look up and you like, damn, something ain't right. You know what I'm saying? Something ain't right. Something ain't moving. You feel like you're still around it. And to be honest, dog, it felt like it was a week or a month.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you just get in these spaces and you just like, shit. And you look up and it's fucking 6 months later.
How you doing now?
I'm good, man. I'm better, right? I miss this shit, dog. And, we always talk about, being open, but not being,
Yeah.
But, I miss us kicking it, man. I miss this interaction, bro. But I'm better, man. I feel good right here, man. I'm right here. Shit.
One of the things that shit was hard, bro.
Yeah.
How things kind of shifted so abruptly. And one of the things that I remember feeling when it happened was our relationship to this thing, and a lot of what we were talking about, I felt was put us in a position to respond to moments like that differently.
Right.
And maybe that was an expectation that I had about us and how we would communicate and share and update and you know what I'm saying, and follow through and shit. But it was abrupt, dog. And I wanted to just at least, man, have an opportunity, because it's come up, obviously, but like I said, the 49th episode was the last one. I think this is like 74. It's been damn near 30. And it's just been, going. But people been asking me about you and about us in this joint. And and making sure that you're good and making sure that you're straight and shit, bro. And so I just wanted to, you know, create a little space for that kind of shit to just be.
Dog, let me tell you, dog. I thought so too. But for me, bro, when I ain't never been like felt keeping this shit 100, dog, isolated like I've been feeling in those moments, dog. A lot of times you feel like you're the only one dealing with this shit, which is part of, you know, what we try to talk through, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But when you in it, dog, it's a different vibe. And you just feel like all you want to do, dog, is just escape the shit. And that's been a problem, dog, for me for long as I can remember, dog. Just feeling like this, I just don't want to deal with the shit. So you end up in a motherfucking hole. It's not even a hole, bro. It's in a closed box. And you close off everything and you just sit in that shit. You know what I'm saying? And again, for what feels like, you know, you feel like you're in a quantum realm, dog. You feel like that it's a week or a month and you look up, dog, it's been 5 months. You know what I'm saying? 2 seasons done passed. And you just like, what the fuck happened, man? What the fuck?
So how the kids doing, man? How was this shit impacting the fellas?
Dog, I don't know if you have experienced this, bro. It's an autopilot that you're on.
Okay.
Right? And dealing with, you know, like responsibilities in that way.
Okay.
Where you get up and you get them to school and you do all the shit. You be dad and shit. And you feed them and you clothe them and you make sure they got, you know what I'm saying? It's an autopilot. But reality is inside of you still in this box where you don't know what the fuck is, you know what I'm saying? You're not living it, you're just doing it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they good, man. They, you know, they ain't miss a beat. That's the wild part.
And you don't think they saw Pop in this low lull, bro?
Probably. But I don't know. I think kids a lot of times, and I don't want to be a motherfucker that burden them with my emotions, because I know how that shit feels. You know what I'm saying? I have to be burdened with somebody else's emotions and their shit. Mm-hmm. So you got to regulate them. You know what I'm saying? So you got to live in a space where you watch what you say, watch how you move, because you don't, you know what I'm saying? But I would probably, I probably guess they know, right, that there's a struggle. But again, I don't want them to feel like that they're responsible. So, you know, like I said, you on autopilot, man. Shit, you know.
What caused you to snap out, or at least to look up? What was the trigger for you looking up?
I talked to you about it, dog. I had my man, dog, died. Just dude that I, you know, see at the barbershop every week, bro. I mean, we would kick it. He worked in he was a social worker, and he was you know, his job was at-risk youth. You know what I'm saying? He was a source of comfort for them and a source and a resource for kids that were already in trouble in the mix. And 2 kids, man, and, you know, one of them the same age as one of mine. And, you know, he just recently went through a breakup, bro. And, you know, his son came home one day and found him dead, man. They saying that, I hate that, but like I said, I saw him one week, and the next week I was it was like he gone, dog. And that started me to be like, damn, what? And it's almost like what's happening, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? So it's almost like it shakes you so much that box you in, the door kind of swings open. You like, what the fuck is going on, man? And that, like, realizing that he was going through something and he probably was feeling in the same box, you know what I'm saying? Struggling in the same way, you know. Because we would talk about how he was the one taking care of his kids and he was the one making sure that they, you know, blah, blah, blah. All that was part of the we had a lot in common, bro. So I think I reached out to you.
Yeah.
And, you know, and had to figure out a way out of it, man. That's the thing, man. It's one thing to be in it because we all go through it, right? But figuring out a way out of that shit, dog, is a motherfucker, dog. And I mean, you know, ain't none of us lacking. Well, some of us might be, but I know I ain't lacking no friends, family. You know what I'm saying? Resources, motherfucker, I can reach out to, motherfuckers I can, you know. But I don't know, man. You know, a lot of times for me, I've always existed in this space where I have to do it. Like, I don't have motherfuckers that I can, you know, truly, I mean, you know, in my mind,
Yeah.
and I can truly kind of help me through the shit. It's just me. So sometimes that shit just get heavier than other times.
And I appreciate the transparency on it, man, because it helps keep the conversation clean, and it's a reality of how you get of what the path back looks like.
Right.
Because it's always there. You just gotta take it.
But dog, it just, a lot of times, bro, it don't feel like you can even see the shit. Again, for me, I don't know anybody else's experience with the shit, but it's almost like you can't even see it. And all the conversations we've had, all the times we've talked about the same thing, it's like when you get into a space where you're like so deep in it that you can't, even if you know it's a path, you can't even see the shit. Like it's a I wouldn't say a darkness, dog, because that's a little, because like I said, I'm still on autopilot. I'm still going to work. I'm still, you know, at the game. I'm still moving around. I'm still,
Yeah.
you know, but you just can't.
But even with the autopilot, bro, you wouldn't even call me back, dog. Like what is that? So even with the and that's what I'm saying. It's like when I call you or I text you multiple times, dog, months went by, dog. Right? So when I'm speaking about the path, I'm actually talking about, even if you, because you're right. Sometimes you don't see it, but we've gone through, we've done it enough to know that we're going to make it to the other side. It's kind of like what we were talking to Brody about when he was here, and he was like, the only thing that gets me through is knowing that I've been through. So like,
Right.
and the awareness of that is the path. Even if you can't see it, you know that it's there because you at least have hindsight as a gift to demonstrate that you have, right? And even with me calling and stuff, like that is a path. If I'm calling you, and I don't even know if what I'm saying is, I guess I am challenging what you're saying, only to a degree that it's like, you got kids, right?
Right.
And you got an autopilot for your kids.
Right.
And that's 100% clean. You're supposed to have that.
Right.
Like, there's no, how do we build autopilots for the other shit?
That's a good question, bro. Autopilot for the kids means to, and as I look back on the shit, in these moments, it means that I don't have to reveal anything about what I'm going through with them. I can just do, right? So I'm not like what I'm thinking or feeling or struggling with, I don't have to share it with them.
I got you.
I'm just, dog, it's just like a fucking ant that's just moving from space to space, dog. It's so, but with you, dog, I'm accountable for what the fuck I'm going through. And I like, and a lot of times I'll be like, damn, I gotta call this nigga back, man. That's fucked up. So then you know, but then other shit, and I start thinking about other shit, and then next thing, like I said, dog, it's 2 days later.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it surely is not like me looking at this shit, be like, fuck that nigga. It is, you know, I'm doing shit, I'm moving shit around, I'm trying, I call him, let me call him right back. I need to holler at my man, let me. But then, like I said, dog, you in this space, and then you look up, it's 2 days later, it's 3 days later. It's, you know what I'm saying? And then you just like, damn, I know I'm fucking up on this shit, and I don't wanna deal with yet another fucking fuck up on my part. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Another shit stacked on top of the 17 other shit that I'm falling short on. You know what I'm saying? Now my man's, I'm not living up to what the fuck we always talk about with my man. So now I'm, you know, I'm just not trying to, you know, be in that space. So again, dog, when you on autopilot, you don't feel nothing.
Okay.
You just existing.
Out of it now, what do you think the person inside that moment needs to hear, or just needs in general?
What do you mean, back then?
Yeah, like if you're in it right now, and if you could talk to yourself back then and give you the things that you need while you're in it, what would you tell yourself and give yourself?
Dog, 2 things. And I thought about this shit, dog, on the ride over here. It's funny as shit that you say that. The first thing is, nigga, ain't nobody coming to save you, bro. You can sit in this shit for as long as you want to. Ain't nobody gonna fix this shit. Ain't nobody gonna mend the shit that's happened to you before. Ain't nobody gonna mend the motherfucking fuck ups that you had before. You are responsible for digging yourself out, and you have the means and the path to do it, and you gotta do it. Secondly, dog, I would say to that motherfucker, I get it. I know this shit is not, you know, I know this shit is not where you want, what you want, and how you want it, right? When you look at your motherfucking existence, and that's cool. You get there. But for now, dog, you're the only one that's gonna do it. There's nobody's coming to save you. In the sense that if you don't, like with us, if you don't reach out to your man, it ain't gonna happen. He ain't gonna show up in motherfucking, you know, all the rest of all these other support, your brothers, all these, ain't nobody coming. You gotta go. You know what I'm saying? You gotta realize that, you know, that it's on you to go. And once you get there, like we said, dog, you have a path to get out of it, right? Once you decide to go. But if you don't decide to go, you're just gonna be right there. But that's for me. I mean, you know, understanding all that. But again, dog, for me, I think even as I look back on it, bro, years and years and years, autopilot has been the way that I don't have to feel it. I just do. And then time just passes, dog.
Bro, what is it?
What is what?
When you say like to not feel, like what are you?
To not.
What is it that's bothering you, bro?
I think, dog, I think a lot of times, you want to be somewhere in your existence that you're not. You want to have a level of, not really successes, dog, of understanding and movement that you don't have. And you lose sight of what you have, thinking about what you don't have. Right? And then that puts you in a place that you feel like you failed.
Okay.
Right? And that current feeling of failure starts the memory of old failures. And that's what starts you closing off that box. Because you feel like a fucking failure. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's the box you end up in.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So it is, and I hate to use cliches and shit. It is, because I was gonna say trigger, but that's not the word I want to use. It is something that's happening to you now that you feel like you've fallen short on, right? Damn, I ain't got this together, or I ain't got this together. And then you start to be like, damn, whoa, shit. What else is new? You ain't never had shit together. And then you start, it's a path that it's a snowball that just builds.
Is it like a money trigger?
It's all of it. And money ain't really, I ain't really had no, we talked about relationship to money, man. That's not how I think. But I think that money, no, it's a level of like.
And not the money, specifically the money, but the stresses that come along with how you use that resource.
And success and achievement and fucking successes and achievements and it's another word I can't think about it, dog. You want to have a level of success that you feel like that that's represented with money to a degree. You know what I'm saying, but not really. You know what I'm saying, but you feel like that or you could have a setback, like some shit happened and you just like, shit, now I feel like I gotta, for lack of, in a certain way, start over.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But then you got other shit. I mean, it's the kids and and the mom and all of that shit that come on. And dog, it is an avalanche. And a lot of times, dog, it's a perfect storm of all that shit happening at once.
Yeah.
And you like, and you end up, again, I end up feeling like a failure, bro. Like I can't get this shit right, man.
How did this shit impact you and the joint?
It's a struggle, man. It's a struggle in a sense that, again, dog, I'm on autopilot. So I'm not really saying this is what I'm going through. You know what I'm saying? But it's obvious in the sense that I'm going through something, but it's a strain on it because, I'm not saying, look, this is what I'm dealing with. So it just comes off as just me being distant.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And and it's hard to, as a dude, we live in a space where our achievements we're measured by our achievements. You know what I'm saying? And vice versa. We're like, if we're not achieving, then we're looked at as less than. So, even saying it carries a level of failure ownership. But it certainly ain't, dog. It ain't like when I say I close off from every fucking thing, like family, like not saying it's right, but so it ain't just me and you and this, dog. It is every fucking thing, dog.
Because I think, man, I'm trying to figure out how to say this, dog, in a way, because I get it. I get it 100%. I get it, dog. but we don't get to do each other like that.
You're right.
We don't. The expectation that we have as brothers and as men, man, is to hold each other up to a higher standard than what our lower selves want to devolve into. And that's because I need you, bro.
Yeah.
It ain't just on some selfish shit of just like, hey man, I just want to make sure, like, it's like there's so many ways in which this stuff is connected that those low moments don't allow us to see. Like to think about the idea that you even be like, oh, well, let me just go on autopilot for the kids. Like, and the ways in which you have to disconnect for that misses how vital you are. Because I think in our conscious, our subconscious, we know we're needed in those areas, dog. But the only way we can justify moving forward in that way is by cutting it off. But you're needed, dog.
Dog, to be honest with you, bro, a lot of times I don't know. Like, I recognize the level of dope shit that I do, my level of talent, my level of smarts and all that shit, right? I do not lack for understanding of the blessings and, you know, I'm a dope nigga.
Yeah.
In a lot of different ways, right?
Mm-hmm.
But to your point, I feel like, and in those times, bro, if I died, motherfuckers wouldn't really even, like, not even like on some bullshit like I'm doing something, right? Like if I was in a train crash, motherfuckers a month from now, motherfuckers be like, man, who?
But you know that's not true.
I don't, dog. I promise you I don't. I promise you I don't.
You feel that way right now?
Less now than I did. Yeah, less now than I did.
But there's still a part of you that feels like, well, shit, if I bounce, that nigga James would be cool. He would just get up and just keep moving.
I ain't saying that it wouldn't be like a hole or you'd be like, damn, sad and shit and all that shit. But in my experience, bro, when I look at death and the motherfuckers that I love that passed, you know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers around, the world kept going on around me while I'm still stuck in dealing with the loss of the shit. Motherfuckers kept, you know, we just talked to motherfuckers, you know, a month later, work, they send you flowers and shit. A month later, they replacing them.
But there's a difference. I don't think necessarily the objective is to be stuck. Yesterday was the 9-year anniversary of my dad dying, right?
Right.
February 4th, 2014
Yeah.
is when my dad bounced. I'm never going to forget that day.
Right.
The world has moved on, and
Right.
to a degree, I have too.
Right.
But I'm not constantly, but I'm reminded often of that day and of the impact that he's had in my life. And even though I'm moving on, I've shifted how I interact with the memory and the time that I got to spend with him as my father.
Right.
So even when you're saying, well, like the people around you have moved on, like they want us to move on.
Right.
Right. That's the best way for us to demonstrate our love and our appreciation for them. And when we don't move on, that doesn't mean that we love them any less or even any more, for that matter. It just means that we're challenged with being able to proceed in a way, or whatever the case may be. But as far as like you saying, there's so many ways, and I get, bro, that the process of me, I can't tell you how much you mean to me.
Right.
There are no words that can demonstrate that. I don't know how I can communicate how needed you are, other than the fact that you're in my life and I invest in our connection.
Right.
And because I'm doing that, I rely on that. Doesn't mean I won't find another way to rely on something else, but what we have is unique, and the composition of that is special, and that thing that we create when we're together,
Right.
that is what I'm talking about.
Right.
Like the fact that I don't get to see, Micah, or hear what's going on with the kids, that shit bothers me.
Right.
Like, you have a whole life, a whole world, your responsibilities as a dad, dog, like all of that shit matters to me.
Right.
Aside from whatever goes on here, I'm like, okay, we don't do this thing no more, man. Like, I want to hear your voice, dog. I want to check your temperature, because I know you be hard on yourself, dog. And I know that the best thing that I can do is remind you of who you are, dog. And I just need that pathway. I need you to extend that pathway to me and to yourself, ultimately, to give me an opportunity to remind you. Because that's all I am, is just a mirror to feed back to you, the ill motherfucking nigga that you are, dog. And not to add anything onto it, but just to reveal what's already there.
Yeah, dog. But the thing is this. So everything you said, dog, is 100% correct and valid. But the disconnect, for me, I don't know how the fuck I became the focus of this episode. But the disconnect for me, bro, is everything you said, I know, right? In the part of me that knows it, I disconnect from that too, right? So I don't even have, like you said, being hard on myself, I'm not even connected to the part of me that says, hey man, shit, it's good, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Take a step back, chill out. Come out of this shit. You know where the door is. Go open the door, come out of this shit. What you doing? You know what I'm saying? I'm disconnected from that. All I have, dog, is the negative, like the noise, right? And then the autopilot, it doesn't quiet the noise. It just gives my body something to do, so I'm not just literally sitting in the shit.
I got you.
Know what I'm saying? So what you just said, dog, I disconnect from that too, right? And that's the piece that I'm like, why is that? When does that happen? How does that happen? Like identifying because at the end of the day, bro, I pull the plug on the shit. Like, I'm the motherfucker that walks up and be like, let me unplug this shit. And when does that happen? Why does that happen? And how does that happen?
Yeah.
Right? And identifying that means that knowing it once it happens, now I know what the fuck is going on. Let me go and do what the fuck I need. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, to your point, bro, everything you're saying is 100% valid. It's not that I know that and ignore it. You know what I'm saying? It's a part of me that disconnects from the shit.
Okay.
And again, I don't know, I know it's me, right? But I'm sure other motherfuckers have felt that way. Like, I'm sure I'm not the only one.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying? But I think my shit is extreme because coming up, I've always had to disconnect because it's street shit going on. It's fucking emotional shit going on. It's surviving going on that I can't afford to be like, oh, I gotta move. I gotta do shit. Disconnected from how I feel about the shit.
Yeah.
And that shit is where it sort of stems from.
And so you're bazookas, my nigga, if you thought you were about to be gone for 6 months and we wasn't gonna have no conversation about this. Like,
You said bazookas.
there's just no way that was not going, because we have talked, right? So, but it's not to the degree, it's just, I'm cool. We're cool. We're gonna always be cool, bro. You my brother and I love you. And that I've learned a lot about myself and expectations, man, and just grace and forgiveness through managing our friendship. Like the things that we've had to do and endured up through this process of doing this TuneTheFork shit has really revealed a lot of stuff about me, and how I manage relationships and even how I deal with my own personal stuff. And so I'm thankful for it, man, and the opportunities that I've been given through you just showing up as the person that you are. But, you know, we got to at least talk about it, bro. Like the autopilot thing that you want to do by just coming in and then just talking, that's because I feel a certain way too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that, like, we straight, dog.
What you mean, dog? Like, so in that, right, there's a point where, again, dog, having these conversations with you, even the conversations we had before, I start to plug the shit back in.
Yeah.
Right? So, and I start to remind myself of who the fuck I am and what I mean to so many motherfuckers, right? And start to feel like that I'm moving in a different direction again. Like I'm pulling myself out of that box. I'm walking to the door and opening the motherfucker and going down the path that I need to go down, right? But so again, dog, when I'm in it, I don't even know what the fuck is going on. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't even. To me, dog, nobody gives a fuck. Like right or wrong, good or bad, bad for all the wrong that shit is. That's what my mind tells me, bro.
Yeah.
And so when I'm not connected to the shit, that shit just runs rampant. You know what I'm saying? So it's not, and it's just, dog, until I can better identify when and where that happens, you know what I'm saying? So I can better identify how to, regulate is a bad word, dog. How to not let that shit happen or understand, dog.
I think you're gonna, because I think what you're describing, bro, we're all disconnecting. And we're all disconnecting to different things at different times and at different degrees, right? I think it's just what is our relationship to disconnection. There are ways in which I disconnect from Zendo, and then there are ways that I'm given an opportunity to reconnect with Zendo. It's what I do. How aware am I of those opportunities to reconnect? And what is my relationship to being aware of the opportunities to reconnect?
What do you mean?
So I've been in a real dark place, bro, for like the past month and a half. The darkest that I think I've been in a while. And I haven't been able to get out. It's been like a rut, bro, and I've been struggling.
That's the word I was looking for, rut. Go ahead.
Been struggling. And like I told you, I went to Detroit. That was just an attempt to just create a new pattern,
right,
to get out of the rut. I haven't been going outside. You know, you and I talked enough about all of these things, right? And that's what I mean. So what is my relationship to my ability to reconnect? I'm going to disconnect because disconnecting is just a part of life, I feel. Mm-hmm. So I can't avoid it. I just have to be aware of when it occurs, because some of this shit is just autopilot, to your point that you were making. But there are things in my life that are occurring on a regular basis that give me the opportunity to be aware of the ways in which I'm disconnecting. And then to say, oh, okay. Terrell called me one day. I was sitting in his chair. I sent him a song, a Quincy Jones joint. He took the Quincy Jones joint and he did something to it. And then he flipped it and he sent it and called me. I saw his phone ringing, bro. And it was a FaceTime call. And I looked at it, I was like, I don't want to FaceTime this nigga. I don't even feel like talking to him. So I picked up the phone. As he picked up the phone, he's playing a song that he just made.
Yeah.
From what I sent him.
Yeah.
And he sampled Etta James's voice. And then he put in the song, "Something's Got a Hold on Me."
Right.
Something's got a hold on me. And as I'm listening to this song, I just bust out in tears.
Right.
I'm just crying. And I'm like, and then he was like, "It must be love." Because he sampled two parts. Something's got a hold on me. It must be love.
Right.
And I have been feeling like something has a hold on me.
Right. Right.
So when I picked up the phone and I listened, I'm crying. And I literally used that as okay, this is my time. This is my opportunity. This is me being called back to this thing that I said that I've been disconnected from. That I'm trying, because I'm in this rut. That was a way for me to get back out, for me to get out of that rut.
Right.
I just had to be aware enough to see the opportunity,
right,
as opposed to just ignore it.
Did you see the opportunity as what it was when it was happening?
Yes.
Okay.
So when I saw his FaceTime, I picked it up, and then I was like, because I was debating on whether or not to go to Detroit.
Right.
This was a Tuesday. I wasn't gonna go. I just talked to Zendo that morning. I was like, I really want to go. I really need to go to Detroit, but I don't want to go. She was like, what do you mean you don't want to go? I said, I'm in a pattern of not wanting to do things. Right. So if I want to get out of that pattern of not wanting to do things, then I've got to do something regardless of how I feel about it.
Right.
And then he called like 6 hours later with this song. Right. And that's what I mean when I say, I have to be aware of the universe giving me opportunities to reconnect. Right. So a call from somebody is an opportunity to reconnect. Right. A song is an opportunity to reconnect. Right. There are all of these things that I'm choosing to ignore for me personally, because I want to stay in this feeling. And sometimes if I leave it up to the feelings, bro, I'll never leave it. Right. I'll never leave the loop if all I'm focusing on is the feelings.
Well,
I won't.
Yeah.
Something from the outside has to influence my pattern in order for me to disrupt it.
Or it's really something from the deep down on the inside that recognizes what you're going through, that sense that.
Maybe I guess to some, I think, because to the point that I think you were making before, like you say you disconnect, there's always something in you that knows. Yeah. It's just that the voice is too loud. Yeah. And I'm getting better at using external cues, external like universal cues to remind me. They seem to be a lot more useful.
So do you, like, when you're in it, right? So when you're in it, do you, like, I am unaware of what's happening, right? Like I said, I'll look up and it'll be 2 weeks later and I'm feeling like, damn, it was just yesterday. You know what I'm saying? I'm look up, it's 6 weeks later. I'm unaware. I know what I'm feeling, but I'm unaware of how it's the disconnection and the rut and the pattern until something shakes me enough that I say, what is going on? Like, what is that? Are you aware of it when you're in the rut?
I'm acute.
That it's a rut.
I'm acutely aware, and I'm looking for paths out. I'm aware of where I am, and then I'm just looking for opportunities like a road. I'm looking for an off ramp.
Do you see any, or you don't see any?
So
until they're there.
Two things. I know what I need to do. Sometimes I just don't do it.
Okay.
So sometimes I can take the off ramp, and the off ramp could be going outside. The off ramp, because most times when I am in those ruts, bro, I'll look around at my life. My life will tell me what I need to know.
Right.
My life, so I feel it, and then I might look up and be like, damn, I'm feeling this way. I'll look around and be like, oh, I ain't listening to no music in a while. Oh, I ain't talked to my brother. Or, oh, I ain't been outside. I ain't did no walking. I ain't worked out. I ain't filmed the episode. My outside will, if I look out, honestly, it'll tell me where the gap is. So sometimes I'll look out and be like, oh, okay, I need to go do that. Oh, I don't want to do it. And I'll just stay in the loop. For whatever reason. I won't judge myself for choosing to stay in it, but I know that I'm in it.
Right.
And this time I chose to stay in a lot longer than I generally do, which made it harder for me to pull out. So then I started to have to look at, and that's why I was like, I need to go to Detroit. And even when I said I needed to go to Detroit, I didn't go. The first week I didn't go. And then the following week is when he called. Because I was supposed to go the week before.
Right.
And I was like, man, I don't feel like going. Just feel like staying at the house, right?
Right.
And let the loop get worse and worse and worse and worse and worse.
Right.
That's when he called with that song saying, something's got a hold on you. And that's when I was like, okay, I hear you.
Right.
It's time to go. Because I wasn't going to go again.
Yeah.
But I had to listen.
Right. Yeah, now that you say that, dog, it is moments where it's almost like something is calling me, like something is saying, and I don't know whether I don't think that I choose to ignore it. I just, like you just said, the other shit is so loud that it's hard to see that for what it is. And it used to be as simple as DJing. Like when I'm in a good space and I'm DJing and the night is going well and I'm feeling connected to what I'm playing and the energy from that sort of triggers me to pull me in a different, you know what I'm saying? That's okay, now I have a level of clarity.
Yeah.
But that's not even, I haven't connected in that in the same way because it's not the same parties that I'm used to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's been sort of a struggle to a certain degree. Yeah, man, I don't have, like, the noise is so loud that I don't see what you said, those moments of, you know, the universe telling me that it's time, man, it's time for you. So it has to be, like the dude dying was something that shook me.
Yeah. To
the degree where I was like, yeah.
And a lot of things could be that. Like, and I think that's that's a very subjective thing, right, that you and our value systems get to determine and gauge what that is.
Right, right.
So a call from somebody that says, hey man, I miss you, you're loved.
Right.
That could shake you up.
Right.
That could be that invitation.
Right.
That the universe.
Right.
It could be, Dad, you never take me, like you said for the second time we were going to do this and you didn't.
Right.
But because we're so used to it, it depends on what our sensitivity level is, because healing is everywhere at all times and in everything.
Yep.
What is our capacity to see it and tap into it?
Right.
Because and I think that's really what I'm saying. Sometimes it could be the grace that our woman extends us for the third or fourth time after, like, damn, like, man, how many times am I gonna take this patience for granted?
Right.
And that could be a trigger or an invitation.
Yeah.
But it just depends on what we seeing when we seeing it.
That's the thing. When you hit it, what we're seeing when we're seeing it, like, and again, I wouldn't say it's ignored. I think it was deep that you said sometimes is the other shit is just so loud, man, that you just can't, and it's noise that you just can't focus on. Right? You're so busy trying to cover your ears to the loudness of it that you can't focus on the path or the invitation. And that's a good word, because it's an invitation. It's not gonna do it for you. It ain't gonna come pick you up and take, you know what I'm saying? It's an invitation for you to then come to that space.
Yeah.
And you know, your earlier question about how do you, like, what is a way to sort of circumvent that? To sort of, how do you deal with it in the moments that it's happening? And that's what I struggle with. How do I, like, what is, when it's happening, what do I do? Right? Do I just let it just kind of wash through? Or do I immediately look for a way out? Right?
It could be, I think it's a combination of both, but that's the reason why my circle is so important, man. Like, I have people in my life, I can't do it alone, bro. I get chills. I can't do this alone, man.
It's crazy.
I need everybody.
Yeah.
And I know what I need because I'm investing in those things.
Right.
I've got to give Terrell. I've got to give to Terrell today what I'm going to need tomorrow. I've got to give to you today what I'm going to need next week.
Right.
I've got to give to Buck yesterday what I'm going to need a month from now.
Right.
I'm putting into y'all what I need. That's my circle. That's my community of people, because when I get low, bro, I need the path out.
Right.
And I give that path to y'all.
Right. Right.
So that I can see my way out.
Right.
So when I'm in it, I can't see it.
Right.
But my circle reminds me of it when I observe them. Buck posted something the other day, and he said, I don't know if he said, I can't remember exactly what he said, but he was like, I don't know who needs to hear this, but this post is just to remind you to never give up.
Right.
I looked at that, and I meant to call him and thank him. I did call him. We ended up talking about something completely different. But it was to thank him for that post.
Right.
Because we've talked about this shit enough to know Buck is that chop the tree motherfucker.
Yeah.
He is that one that is not going to give up. And even if he does, he's poured something in me that will remind him not to give up when he feels like giving up.
Right.
So when I want to toss the towel in for this stuff, man, I look out to them. I go on Instagram and I see this brother working hard saying, don't give up. That's me talking.
Yeah. Damn, that's heavy. That's heavy.
I need it. I need y'all, bro.
Right. I found this on the web.
Shit. But that's how I do it. When I'm out of it, I'm giving. I'm pouring.
Right.
Because when I go back in, I'm gonna need to draw from those things.
Right.
I'm gonna need to, because I might be so dark, I might be so far in to where I can't see my way out. But at least I know when I was healthy enough, I gave so that I could get it back.
It's deep, man.
And that's why I sent you that video that I did.
Right.
When you were saying, because we can be that we are that.
Right.
We are that, bro.
Yeah. That changes a lot, man, because that's it's wild how it can be obvious and yet completely hidden. Like I mean, like that never even like occurred to me how that dynamic works. Because, you know, like I said, man, so long I just felt like I isolate myself. You know what I'm saying? So even sometimes when I'm good, like, you know, I still feel like that I always feel like that I got to do it myself. Right. And for you to say that, dog, it just makes so much sense. Cause it is like, even, you know, even when I'm unaware of it, like there have been times when, you know, I've seen Buck or we've been kicking it and it really kind of turned the corner for me. Like it wasn't even on purpose. It's not like I came to y'all in this, and I'm pretty sure it's happened the other way for all of us.
All the time, man.
Right. Because there's been times when Buck and I have had conversations like we be out and we have conversations and it just seems like a very surface conversation, right? But it's something about just the exchange that moves in a different way. Yeah. And we've all, I mean, Corey, everybody.
It's how I see it, man. And it's the orientation. It's why I'm so focused on trying to give, man. Not just for the sake of giving, because it's also something that I need, man. I can't do this shit alone, bro. Like it's an illusion that we're going to do anything by ourselves. Yeah. That's not how it works.
Yeah.
It ain't, it's all about relationship and connection.
Yeah. And that's the feeling, bro. That's I think that might even be the disconnect when I feel like that I got to do this shit by myself. Like I've always, practically my whole life, felt like that the only way I'm gonna get through this shit is me figuring out a way through it, or stumbling and falling and by myself, you know, moving through the shit. Me reaching out to other people has always been, you know, not necessarily the path out, but just sort of an ancillary, auxiliary kind of, you know, surface kind of exchange to I don't know what the fuck it is, dog. But I never felt like that conversation got me out. I've always felt like that I'm still digging out of this hole, you know what I'm saying? But I put the shovel down for a second to talk to my mans.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But that's the quote unquote manly response, I think. The idea that, you know, like we throw these terms out a lot, I think, like self-made, nobody gave me anything, I did it from out the mud, like all of this shit. It is all bullshit, bro.
Absolutely.
We ain't doing nothing alone and by ourselves. Yep. And it's actually stronger to go as a group and to go as a collective. Yep. And because it reduces your risk, it increases your risk, but it also reduces it as well, especially when you got solid folks going, but it makes you stronger, it makes you more resilient. it helps you. It's just a better path forward. But even because you even need a relationship to get a DJ gig.
Yeah.
Like to say you even did it on your own. Like how'd you get to the spot? Like how'd you get the equipment? Somebody had to make it.
Yeah.
Like there are all of these things that involve relying on other people to get us to do everything that we do.
And dog, I like looking at it, digging deeper about it. It's a disappointment that we don't wanna, for me, to feel like if I rely on a motherfucker and they disappoint me, now, so I'm worried about shit that ain't happened. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
As usual. So now I'm in a position where I still got to do it by myself. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's part of it, bro. That's we talk about that manly shit and we feel like we're alone in this shit because if we depend on anybody, they're gonna let us down because that's been our history.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But that's a false narrative as it relates to that. Because
I've had more people come through for me than let me down in actuality. You know what I'm saying? Plenty of motherfuckers come through in the clutch for me way more than people who let me down. Especially in my adult life. You know what I'm saying? I mean, as a kid, you know, people, whatever. Yeah. And even when I'm let down, if I look at what they were going through at the time or whatever the case is, I have a different understanding about it. Yeah. But it's the letdown that carries. Yeah. But shit, my man, I mean, come on, dog. I had people like in the clutch. Yeah. Plenty of times. You know what I'm saying?
So, is there something I could be doing different, man?
Nah, dog. It is, I mean, again, dog, you've been my man's, man. When I ain't deserve to have a man's like that on that level. You know what I'm saying? So it's on me, dog, it's really incumbent on me to recognize what the wealth that I have, right? And lean on it more and not feel like I gotta do this shit myself. Right? The wealth of people and support and all that shit that I have, man. That's when we talk about paths, dog, that's my path. Because the more I do that, the more I open myself up, the more people can pour into me. Vice versa is the more I close, you know.
But that's a good, it's impossible to forget, man, that you got boys, bro.
Right.
And that a lot of the things, and as good of a father as you are, a lot of the things that you're struggling with, you just got to remember, man, that there's a strong possibility that they might be, that they may end up struggling with the same thing.
Dog, I see it, bro.
And all of this shit that you talking about doing for yourself is a path, if you can do it, if you work on it.
Right.
It's a path for them to see what it looks like for their superhero to do the shit, bro. Right. Because if we really trying to set these youngins up, man, for success and all of that, like it's and I don't know what seed you gotta drop in your garden to get it to grow, but I think in a lot of cases for parents, man, it's how they can show up better for their kids sometimes that is that motivation. Right. To do something different. But if you that dude, man, the odds, if you're that dude and you have chill sons, the chances of them doing something different is low.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and I see it. I see there is a level of, I wouldn't say isolation. I would say like, they don't lean on outside of, their immediate circle or immediate family, lean on people as much, friends and all these other resources in their lives, as much as they probably should. You know what I'm saying? And that comes from, directly from me doing the same shit. Like, it's a reflection of the shit. And the seed is what we do. That's the seed, dog. But I haven't been warning the motherfucker, taking care of it. It's in, it's in dirty ass, infected ass,
Motherfucker.
bleach water.
God got using Flint water to garden them.
Watering with bleach and shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not taking care of the seed.
Formaldehyde.
All that stupid shit. You know what I'm saying? That will, I mean, it's already there, bro. It's already there.
Okay.
It's just not in the question is deeper than the seed, because the seed is a seed. The fertile ground, where you getting that from? Because, my mind is a fucking shit show. You know what I'm saying? Where do you plant the motherfucker that could be a fertile ground that the shit can grow?
That's that X factor, man, that the individual got to fill in. How you feeling, bro?
I'm good, man.
I know you thought we was just gonna come here and just.
Talking about dudes holding hands and fucking. Nah, I knew he was going, But I'm back in my seat, man. You trying to put me in the.
It's just like
Man,
dude been gone. He done did a bid. Now he coming back home trying to tell the woman what's for dinner.
Juice.
Yeah.
What kind of juice you be getting?
How I feel to be back in front of the cameras, man.
Man, it's natural, man. Shit like riding a bike, man.
Is it?
I'm a star, dog. That's.
And then you gonna look in the camera too.
I'm a star, man. What the fuck? That's what I do. Star shit. I do star shit. How you feeling, man?
I don't know. I don't, man. It's good to see you, man. I ain't seen you.
Dog, this shit don't feel like riding a bike?
Listen, bro. Like I said, I've been doing this shit, dog. There's been a form of autopilot here too, right? In front of doing this stuff. I normally don't look over this way when I'm talking to somebody. I'm normally looking across, like there's just and just even the energy and the exchange is definitely familiar, but it's just. I had to go through a lot of motherfucking feelings, bro.
Oh, you and me both, bro. I get it.
And thoughts to keep this thing going. Some about not wanting to do it anymore. Some about wanting to do it anymore. I was an angry dog. I was disappointed. I was like I traversed all the emotional landscape a motherfucker can go over. And it's been and I've been trying to keep my head down, and I've been positive most of the time. And some of the times ain't been, as positive, but it cause it's like, you got your story, I got my story, everybody got their story, and it's just all up in their fucking head. I'm glad that you're doing good, bro. Doing better.
That's all I was gonna say. It ain't good, it's better.
And I'm glad that I'm doing better. And yeah.
Yeah, dog. It's been same shit, man. It's been like something that you lean on and depend on and all that shit, and then it's gone. I mean, it's a lot of shit to go along with it, but you know, I mean, like we just talked about, man, it's there's a path out. And once I get out, you know, it serves me no purpose to ask why, like why I was there, or you know what, to me, what brought me there. And all, I mean, again, dog, sometimes it's just the perfect storm of a lot of shit happening all at once, and you know, you just end up in a place, man. I don't know how else to put it, like and again, that you end up in that place, and before you know it, you don't, for a long time, you don't even know what that place is, but you just know you're there. And it's a struggle, man. It's a struggle to not be comfortable in it, because I think a lot of times we get comfortable in that place and we end up existing out of it for really our lives, like existing out of a place of disconnection, and that shit turns into resentment and festers into misery. And that's, you know, and I'm not trying to be that, you know what I'm saying? But again, this is always, you know, we started this as something, as you said, as the thing, as the space and the place and the light at the end of the, you know what I'm saying, at that North Star that you can always look to. But, you know, life, man.
Lowercase.
Lowercase.